Welcome to the Hellmouth. Hope everybody's 5x5. This is Major Slayage, Ket and Arik rewatch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My name is Eric, and to my right, your left, my jubilant, jocular, jovial, judicious, sometimes juvenile wife and co-host with that certain je ne sais quoi. You know her as half the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe. Give it up for Ketryn Porter.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
I liked jocular.
Yes.
I like the slight dig of juvenile.
I said sometimes juvenile.
Sometimes, but also I'm going to choose to take it as a compliment because
also
we have to find joy in this world.
Young at heart. Take
I love that.
Interpret it that way. Hi, welcome. We're here to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2, Episode 10. What's My Line? Part 2. What did you think about this one?
I don't know if it's just like what we have going on in our personal lives right now. I, in this moment, have no opinion of this episode, which I think in and of itself is an opinion in that it's not on my radar.
Well, I've got too many opinions.
Okay,
so
great.
we'll balance each other out.
Listen, if there's one thing I know will bubble to the surface for me, it's opinions.
Yes.
So just because they're buried in the muck right now, they're clawing their way to the surface as we speak.
I think that's very accurate. So we're going to get into why in a second, but there's actually been a time gap between when we did our watch along and when we're recording this episode. And so I went back and watched it again, so it would be fresh in my mind before we talked about it.
I did too.
And I remembered when we did the watch along, we watched parts 1 and 2 together. I remember thinking I liked the second half a little bit better, but watching it in isolation by itself recently, I don't think this one's very good either.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot about this that doesn't make sense, and we're going to get into it. Before we jump into that, though, I did want to this is going to be tough. Just bear with us. But the reason we had to have a time gap between the watch along and doing this episode is because in the intervening days, we had to say goodbye to our beautiful little baby girl, Ethel, who's been on many episodes of this podcast so far. She makes lots of guest appearances. And so I just wanted to take a minute to pay tribute to her because she is part of this show, and it's a big part of what we're going through. And I think the dirty little secret of this show is about us, and Buffy is just a premise where I get to talk to my favorite person on a regular basis. So about a year ago, Ketryn texted me that she had found a dog in the alley, basically in the garbage. I wasn't even here for this part. Do you want to tell this part of it?
Yeah, I'll touch on it quickly. We have a pretty windy neighborhood. It's not grid like. So when I go for my walks around the neighborhood, I've never taken the same route before, ever. I don't have to, and I enjoy sort of taking different turns at different times, which makes it all the more incredible that on this particular day, at this particular moment, on this particular route, a little girl jumped out from behind a trash can where she was looking for food, and there were no other people around. She had no collar, and she stepped out in front of me as if to say, "Help me." So I picked her up, took her back home. We looked for, tried to find the people that were registered to her microchip. No response. She was mostly fleas.
Yeah.
When I say mostly fleas, I'm not exaggerating.
It's like in like cartoons when 3 kids will get on each other's shoulders and put on a trench coat so they can go to an R-rated movie or something. This was like fleas wearing a dog costume.
Yeah.
That first day.
Long story short, we kept her. When we saw that she was going to get along with the cats, we kept her. And shortly after that is when we found out that she had stage 3 kidney disease, and we knew that this was going to be there was a time limit on her life, and so we decided to make however much time we had left with her the best time of her life.
That first day brought her in, gave her a bath in the sink with just Dawn, which they use on like animals with like get oil spills and stuff. And then I worked outside so I could be, we didn't want to bring her in the house. We didn't want her to give fleas to the cats. But Ketryn's cousin Allison came over and sat on the ground with her and combed through her fur and picked fleas off of her with tweezers for 2 hours while I worked outside and could kind of watch the whole thing.
Which is why her Ethel's middle name was Allison.
Yeah,
so
her full name,
Ethelfled Allison Porter Martin.
Ethelfled, named after a Saxon warrior queen character in The Last Kingdom, if anyone watched that. Yeah, after a couple days of no response on the microchip, we decided to bring her in and keep her. And I'm actually wearing her collar as a bracelet. And this was the first thing that I bought her when we decided to keep her. She was the love of my life. Obviously, I love my wife. I love my cats. But she needed something from me that nothing else in my life was asking of me. And so to sort of show up for her really gave my life purpose and was my mission. And boy, I feel like I'm just rambling, but she was just my every thought was, what does she need? And she was not a very loud dog. She was as dogs go, she was very quiet, but I can't even explain how quiet our house is now that she's gone. Yeah, I don't want to bring the whole thing down, but we just...
How about I transition us into my spell, which is in honor of her. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay. So first thing I did was I made this itty bitty little candle for us to burn, and it has Samhain oil in it. Samhain oil helps to thin the veil between the corporeal world and the non-corporeal world. So this is me inviting Ethel to lay in her little bed while we record.
Yeah, she used to lay right over there when she wasn't walking under our chairs and sitting in my lap. So
light that for me and put it right there.
Yeah.
And I'll walk us through the spell. So this is something that you can do. I call them death jars, which sounds morbid to some people, but I try to celebrate the passing on of our loved ones, and this is one of the ways that I do that. So I'm going to show you all how to make a little death jar. So I've chosen this one, which actually belonged to my grandmother, who is passed on, who would have loved Ethel. And then I have this really cool thing. I'll have you scan this. It's called a witch's wheel. And it's how you make sigils out of words or people's names by circling each of the letters, and it creates these little shapes. So I made one for Ethel. That is her little sigil. So we'll be putting that into here. I also have a piece of her collar that we'll put in there. And then I have pieces of bay that I wrote we can write little messages to her. So this one says, "Love you, see you in the morning." So we'll put that in there. You can write your little message. And then we won't be doing this now because we're waiting for her ashes, which will be added to this little jar. But what you can do and what we'll do once we receive her ashes is we'll cork it like this. And then we'll take this candle. I chose yellow because yellow is representative of happiness, which is the primary thing that we were trying to give to her in her last days and what she brought to the household. So what you'll do is you'll melt the bottom of the candle just a little bit so that it sticks to the top of the cork. And then you'll light the candle and let it burn all the way down and let the wax drip and theoretically seal the death jar. So that's what we'll be doing. And I'll have Eric share a picture of it once it's complete.
Yeah.
And I'll scan this really cool sigil making template.
I wrote, "You are so safe. You are so loved." When we first brought her inside, she was never aggressive, but she was traumatized. She lived on the street for a long time. Her hair was very long. I said the amount of fleas. And if she never fell all the way to sleep. She was always a little bit on guard. And so like if you went up to her while she was sleeping, she would wake up in a start. And so just over time, we were able to convince her that she was safe and she didn't need to be on guard. And so when we would see her just like stretched out on the couch, passed out asleep without a care in the world and not reacting to sounds, and I could walk up and pet her while she was asleep and she would just kind of look at me and then lay back down.
The cats could walk up to her and
Yeah, she
didn't
wasn't
scare her.
she wasn't acting out of fear anymore. She really did learn how to be comfortable. She learned how to take comfort in us, and she was just everything. And we're doing all right. I don't want to drag the whole show down, but yeah, I miss her terribly. My heart is broken. But she's not stressed out anymore, and she doesn't have to feel bad. And the dogs can live with kidney disease until they can't. And I'm just so grateful. I definitely wanted to keep her longer than we had her, but being her dad was one of my favorite things I've ever done with my life. So
yeah.
By popular demand, here is our little baby girl, Ethel. This is my biological daughter. She's just the sweetest. She just got a haircut.
But you guys have to still stick around till the end of the episode, even though we showed you Ethel early.
I've got a visitor.
Aw, here she is.
Ethel is walking around our feet in her stylish little sweater. Say hi to the people.
Hi.
She's always in here with us, but usually she's in her bed.
Now she's wandering about.
Well, fortunately, Ethel loves being petted, so there will be no life burning to the ground necessary.
Saw her with Angel. So now Giles is obviously like, who's on first, right? Like, who's the bad guy? What's happening? That kind of
I will put little baby girl on the ground. Say goodbye to everybody. Bye.
Okay, so as you can see, we will be doing this episode post cry, but here we are. Okay,
Let's get into it.
so this is part 2. So we open where we left off with 2 Slayers at fisticuffs, ready to fight with each other. We have my least favorite line right off the bat.
I was going to say my first issue with this, as they do with this whole thing here, too.
Yeah, just you can say it and I'll touch on it as my least favorite line.
I don't know if it's the line, but it's the idea that as far as Kendra knows, Buffy is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy is a companion of an evil vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Just tried to chop her head off.
Yeah.
So the idea that she goes, wait, how about we don't fight and we go talk to someone that I claim as my watcher? I'm also a Slayer. Kendra just acquiesces to that way too easily.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even really think about that part.
She just tried to chop her head off 40 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And
now, okay, I'm going to do my thing where if I'm the actor, how do I justify that
Right.
as Kendra? Here's how I would justify that. She is feeling in that moment the superpowers of Buffy fighting her. So but
vampires
she was a
have
vampire.
superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think this works.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. For someone who's so duty bound and so by the book, of
Yeah.
course, even if she's not a vampire, some kind of villain, some kind of magic wielder, some kind of bad
have-
guy
yeah, you're
would
right.
lie and say, "Oh no,
I'm the
one of you." Yeah.
Slayer.
When
Yeah.
you know you're the only Slayer in the world,
Yeah.
she buys into it way too easily.
Yeah. One of them would have had to have, and it would have had to have been Buffy, would have had to constrain her in some way and bring her to Giles.
Or Lead her on a chase.
Or lead her on a chase. That would have been fun. Love that. Okay. So we got to go check in on Angel real quick just to remind us that Kendra did put him in a cage and the sun is creeping in. So he's now constricted to the corner.
Yeah, but as I said, we learned from later in the show, Spike can travel around during the day by putting a blanket over his head. Angel's got a big long coat. Just put yourself under the coat till the sun goes away.
Yeah.
This is not that big a deal.
Agreed.
And I actually went back and rewatched because I couldn't remember, because like when they get him down into the lair, he's got no coat. And I was like, is that an editing thing? Because he definitely had his coat on when he was fighting Kendra. We see Willie drag him out of his coat.
Okay.
Like by accident.
Okay.
So at least they address why the
that.
coat's not there. But when he's in the cage, he's still wearing the coat.
Oh.
So he could have been under the coat.
Yeah.
In the sun. So I just don't.
Yeah.
There's just so many. I think there's something in every scene in this that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. So we do make it to the library and we're trying to solve this double Slayer situation. Buffy is super duper whooper snarky with Kendra in a way that was kind of mean. And I guess from her perspective, like she is annoyed at this, but like I feel like if I was the Slayer, I'd be meeting this person with a bit more curiosity than just like mean girl energy.
And we talked about it in our last episode, but it's about a scene that happens here, which is it's fucking wild that Giles just goes, another Slayer. I guess that's interesting. That there's no kind of anger or mistrust
of the Watchers Council.
Be like, they didn't tell me there's another Slayer. I'm here mentoring a Slayer and there's another one in the world.
Yeah.
I can't believe Buffy has no reaction to
why would
there should be fire under this. There should be anger. There should be incredulousness, not well, I suppose that makes sense if you think about it. Nobody's acting like human beings.
Yeah. So the way that they figured it out was that Buffy did in fact die at the end of season 1. And it doesn't matter how long you're dead, the magic is triggered. So that was when Kendra was activated. And I'm with you. It feels like the Watchers Council like really needs like a project manager.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's within the world of the story, their motives make sense. It's need to know basis.
Right.
They're going to play their cards close to their vest. I buy the council.
Okay.
I don't buy.
You don't buy that they.
Nobody has a reaction to this.
That's fair. Because it fucks up their shit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendra sort of talks about her perception of Buffy, which is like, girl, I saw you kissing a vampire. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a Slayer. I assumed you were a vampire. I certainly didn't assume you were the undead Slayer.
Right.
And Willow does have a cute line right here.
Buffy would never do that. Oh, except for that sometimes you do that.
Right.
Which is, Allison Hannigan is so good at doing those kind of lines. She's just so great at it. We then learn that Kendra knows who Angelus is. So she obviously doesn't know that Angel has been ensouled. She knows him from her studies as Angelus, who is one of the most threatening vampires out there, now, based on what he did.
My question is, does she know him by sight or does she only know it because the way the scene plays out, it seems like when they refer to him as Angel, that's what triggers her to go, you mean Angelus? Do you think it was so hard to tell what was going on with Kendra through the accent?
Yeah. No, I think she knew what he looked like for sure. And I think her going, you mean Angelus, is responding to why y'all calling him a nickname? Like what like why are we so familiar? This is Angelus.
Okay, fair.
Because she's very well studied, and we already know that there are sketches of different people and vampires in the Watchers Journal. So
sustained.
You're skating on thin ice, like Buffy. So this is also where she lets it slip. Kendra lets it slip.
He looked to me just like another animal when I... ...
Right. We go back to the cage in Willie's bar, and Willie is the one who ends up rescuing Angel. We expect that it's going to be Buffy who opens the cage door, and it's Willie. And we're like, okay, Willie's gonna rescue Angel. So he pulls him out and then throws him down into the sewer. Spike comes out and we see that Willie is playing a double agent here, and Angel's shirt won't stay on.
No.
To save his life, literally won't stay on.
This may come up in our best dressed.
Yeah, and I wasn't not here for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
hashtag Angel nips.
Right. So Angel is in Spike's
possession. Also, I kind of liked. I can't tell if this was I'm on the fence. Was this so on the nose it was ridiculous, or did I think it was clever? And I can't. The fact that Willie and Spike are wearing the same shirt to kind of show that they're in allegiance with each other.
Oh, I mean, I didn't notice
red
that.
button-up shirt.
Shut up. That's so funny.
I was like, was that a clue that he was on Team Spike the whole time, or was that just a coincidence? And if it was on purpose, do I love it, or I think it was cheesy? And I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
I go back and
it
forth.
Could go either way. Let's go see what Cordelia's doing. And bless her, Cordelia has managed to irritate a demon, which I just love that for her.
Questions about this whole scene,
please.
So when Norman Pfister, the Avon lady, shows up at Buffy's neighbor's house,
I'm not going to have a good explanation for any of this, but continue.
No, I wouldn't expect you to. I don't think there is a good explanation. I think Cordelia has some plot armor here. Is what is the only explanation. So shows up at the neighbor's house. Hey, I've got free samples. Lets him in, closes the door, immediate scream. He goes into Buffy's house when Cordelia answers the door and does an entire sales pitch to the point where he's tired of talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't worm out and kill her instantly like he apparently does the other neighbor. Also the question, does he know what Buffy looks like or not? Because he's been watching the house, yet he asks if there are any other women there. He would have known there are no other women because he's been watching the house with binoculars.
Yeah.
So does he think Cordelia is the Slayer, or is he just like, oh, there's people there, I'll go over?
Right.
But also, like, again, I'm repeating stuff we brought up last time, but why the whole ruse of being an Avon lady when you can literally worm under the door?
Yeah.
Another question, which I'll save this one.
And then I have a hypothetical for you that I know you love after this.
So fun.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
No, I'll save this next one for.
Okay. So a couple things. I'll get through the meat and bones of this scene, but then I have several questions that are of equal importance. You already covered that. More ladies in the house. We then see, as do Xander and Cordelia, a bug sort of crawling out of him and super freaks them out. So they run and hide in the basement.
Before that, though, and this is one of my things, they try to run out the back door.
Right.
And apparently, and this is important because
I missed this.
It's one of the things where the show does a thing and then they forget that they did a thing.
Okay.
He's apparently able to worm out, reconstitute himself, and get to the back door before them and blocks their way out.
Okay.
Which is why they have to go out into the basement.
Okay. Oh.
That's so fast. He does like a Freddy Krueger where it's like you're running, you turn around and he's right there.
You're so right.
And yet he never moves that fast again when it would have been
behooved him.
Yeah, when it would have been the best way to kill these people.
Okay. Yeah, got it. So anyway, yes, that's a problem. They go into the basement and now he's trying to worm under the door. They decide to use duct tape. Cordelia has another line that in and of itself is not like the most interesting line, but her delivery of it made it almost make it to my superlatives, where she just quickly hands him the duct tape and says, I don't do worms.
Right. Everything she says is great.
So fantastic.
Everything she says is amazing. Here's my question.
Okay.
So far, we've not seen Norman Pfister, the Avon lady, turn a doorknob.
No.
He has to be let in by the neighbor he kills. He has to be let in by Cordelia. He's chased them into the basement and then wants to worm under the door. But that door's not locked because they just open it later when they leave.
Sure.
This guy can hold a briefcase.
Why
this guy has hands. Why can't he just be Norman Pfister and turn the knob and
you
push
know
through?
What?
Nothing about this guy makes sense.
Maybe this demon's just an idiot. Maybe he's really dumb. Maybe he just like doesn't know how his own powers work. Maybe he's just dumb, dumb.
And to bring up my other point, if he can move so fast that he can beat them to the back door, why do the worms crawl so slowly under the door long enough for them to duct tape it?
Girl,
This is none of this. There's a way to build tension. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Okay.
We got a comment on one of our YouTube videos. I think it was Inca Mummy Girl. And this person was not pleased with how plot focused we were.
Okay.
Like, you pay way too much attention to the plot.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. This person was like, I watch Buffy for metaphor and themes.
Sure.
Plot is the delivery system for your metaphors and your themes. If I feel like I'm in the hands of a capable storyteller and I don't have to think about how the plot doesn't make sense, I'm fully able to absorb themes, metaphors, all of these like literary things, all the things they want me to think about, all the things they want me to feel. If the plot doesn't make any sense, I can't get there.
Can't focus.
I'm distracted. It takes me out of the thing. And then I almost don't care what your metaphors are.
Right.
If you have to write in such a way that nothing makes sense, then how good are your themes anyway?
Right. And to be fair, for those of you that may just be tuning in right now, I don't know why you would be tuning in right at this moment in this episode, but let's say you are. We love this show.
Yeah.
But just because you love something doesn't mean that you don't have critiques of it. We don't just love something blindly. Yeah. All right. Two really important questions. First one is, if you could explode into a cacophony of some sort of animal, what would it be? I know what mine would be.
Well, tell me yours and I'll think.
Is it the most original? No. But does it feel like it would be very, very satisfying? Bats. I would love to explode into bats. Like, I hope one day I get to explode into bats. That would be incredible. I just feel like it would be like the most freeing feeling of my life.
It's freaking bats.
I guess without having given it much thought, just responding in the moment, I want to say spiders.
Why?
Because they're fucking cool. And they can climb up walls and make webs and shit.
For better, for worse.
Till spiders do us part.
Till spiders do us part.
Your marital grievance is I want to be spiders.
Yeah, but also like bats eat spiders, so like I can't make any promises.
Every time we do animal stuff, your animal eats my animal. Like, there's just no way around it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and then the next question, and I'm gonna have you create a graphic that I will help you with, because Cordelia says, I am both a winter and a summer. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with color theory, it's legit. There are certain colors that just pop on people based on their skin undertones, eye color, and hair color, and ones that wash someone out. I'm vaguely familiar with it. I think Cordelia is correct. I think she is both a summer and a winter.
She can pull off any outfit.
So, well, no,
Any
because
color.
she's not necessarily a spring or a fall.
Oh, there's...
Yeah. Calm down. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put up a graphic right here where I will say whether I was right or wrong. But my hypothesis is that she is, in fact, a summer and a winter. All right. Here we go.
First thing in this whole episode that made sense.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Bendra goes to find Angel. And they go to the cage, and Kendra notices that there are no ashes, which tells, I know this one, I'm already overruling what I know you're about to say.
Well, we've seen lots of vamps get dusted.
And we've seen dust.
Ashes.
She pulled a ring out of dust in one episode.
Yeah, that's how to kill a boy on the first date.
Yeah, and
how to get away with killing a boy on the first date.
And also, she is so often dusting vamps in a cemetery where it's like dirt and grass.
But they've also dusted them on linoleum and on.
Well, the camera didn't pan down to see if there was dust. Damn, we don't know if Willow's coming in behind with a broom. Come on,
hand vacuum.
They're like, okay, he must be okay because there's no ashes, but we need to find where he is. So they go out into the bar. Kendra attacks Willie for information. Buffy then also questions Willie.
But Buffy chastises Kendra for going to the punchy first.
Right.
And it's like, that's a move Buffy does
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Willie gives them information. Kendra is like,
you can return to your watcher for orders.
I don't take orders. I do things my way.
Then Willie is gross about wanting to take nude photos of them.
And here's my problem. Buffy, we know, is still in high school. Kendra could be 19 or whatever.
Sure.
This is a gross beat, and it's not super funny.
Mm-mm.
It's not necessarily out of character for Willie, except for the fact that these two almost whooped his ass.
Yeah. So why are you?
So
asking
why
them
is
to
he
take their clothes off?
provoking them?
Yeah.
So I think this scene should have ended with Kendra's line.
No wonder you died.
Yes, which was
And
a great dig.
then we're out.
Let's go to the lair of Spikezilla.
I'm feeling claustrophobic in this lair after this
Whew,
last
yeah.
episode and this one. These motherfuckers, that place must stink.
Yeah.
These two are in full COVID quarantine.
Yeah.
I can just imagine
Blood.
it's just gross, and they don't leave. They're both fucking depressed. It's
Yeah.
really hard to spend time in this with them anymore.
Yeah. So, but we seem to be making moves to move out of this space.
Right.
They are both very excited that they have Angel under lock and key. Spike is throwing out some really great terms of endearment to Drusilla that I'm here for. Black Goddess.
Yeah.
Loving that. Ripe, wicked plum. I don't even know what that means, but I love it. Fantastic.
He seems a little more like himself than he did last episode. The Spike lines are a little spikier.
Yeah. In addition, the mere sight of Angel in chains seems to put some pep in Drusilla's step.
Mm-hmm.
She comes to life and immediately starts making out with Spike, and there's very much like it's been forever, and then they just eat each other. And she's super excited to fuck with Angel. And fuck Angel. Honestly, I mean, I think those two things live in a very
similar place
for her. And Spike has to remind her, like, you can play, but he needs to be alive for the
Us
ritual.
to kill him.
Yeah. And I just wrote, these three have definitely boned.
Oh yeah.
Like the three of them.
Everyone's been in everyone's holes in this.
100%. 100%. They could both. All of them could be tour guides to each other's holes. We learned that Giles spoke to Kendra's watcher, and they agree that they should work together. And to your point, Giles is super chill about it. I agree. I'd be annoyed. Like, first of all, you not telling me about this new Slayer, I just realized this, meant that my Slayer almost died. Now, I guess what the watchers would say is, like, it's not your job to, like, care if a Slayer dies, is what they would say.
Yeah, your Slayer almost killed my Slayer because no one was communicating with anybody.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Fuck. Doesn't even matter now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Giles is really bonding with Kendra because Kendra's a much more traditional Slayer. She studies, she takes it really seriously.
She knows chapter and verse of all of
the handbook, which Giles didn't even bother to show Buffy.
Right.
I really want to read this book, get my hands on it.
You and Willow both.
Right. Kyle's skips off and leaves Billow behind. And Buffy's bummed that, like, they seem to be bonding. Willow is like, you're always going to be Giles' favorite, which is so true. Like, right. Giles is dad vibes to you, Buffy. And then she starts to kind of contemplate, like, wait a minute. Could this mean that I can take a break, that I'm released from this destiny?
Is this my get out of slaying free card?
Exactly. So now we go back to Zordy in the basement. I think we just have to, starting now, move on from how nonsensical this whole Maggotman situation
No, it's gonna come.
is.
It's gonna come up one more time.
Okay, great.
But not right here.
So Zordy's in the basement of Buffy's house. They have just extensive bantering foreplay until finally they kiss. And it's the swell of music. It was so fun.
It was very Sam Malone and Diane Chambers from Cheers the first time they kiss.
Yes.
You disgust me. I hate you.
Are you as turned on as I am?
More.
So now they decide, because they kind of like weirded each other out by kissing, that they're like, okay, we need to leave. So they just decide to leave now. They don't see Wormy, like, standing at the door, and more worms aren't coming under the door. I don't know, whatever. So they run, but Wormy is on the ceiling and drops down on Cordelia. So gross.
So she gets a portion of him on her sweater as they run
Yeah.
outside. This is where, so if he's fast enough in worm form to beat them to the back door, why doesn't he quickly reconstitute on her back? Like, it just doesn't make, why do you introduce, it's like in the opening fight scene of The Phantom Menace, we see Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan run away like the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the movie, they're just kind of jogging. They never do that super fast run again.
That's annoying.
So it's like, why in the world would you introduce that? We could have just had Cordy and Xander go right to the base. I don't fucking know. Like, I can't for the life of me figure out why you would introduce that and then go, well, that's off the table now. Now I can't use it anymore.
Yeah. Maybe he only has one a day.
Yeah. He's like the guy from Inca Mummy Girl where he can take one swipe
and then
he needs a 10-minute timeout before he can do his thing again.
Yeah, exactly. So back at school, Willow is lamenting about the career fair again. That Buffy's going to be law enforcement or environmental design because she's pro-shrubbery. But at this moment, Buffy sees Oz giving eyes to Willow, and she peels off to be like, ooh. And Oz comes over, and we learn that we get some character development from Oz. We learn that he's super smart, but like aggressively unambitious.
Yeah.
Which Willow finds endearing. I guess they're still in high school. That would get tired as you get older.
But I think she sees it as, wow, this guy is free. I feel burdened by my brain. I have this responsibility to do well in school, to be type A, to secure my future. To see this guy who's a guitar player, who's just as smart as I am probably, and doesn't care about any of that stuff, that must feel really like wild to her.
Yeah, and I guess I'm coming to it from like the age that I am now, where it's like, all that is well and good, but mastering E flat diminished ninth isn't going to pay our rent. So what's the deal with that? Also, stay tuned for our trivia crypt. If you aren't already a part of our Patreon, I told Eric that I need him to play an E flat diminished ninth.
I'm going to bring the guitar to trivia crypt this week.
Yeah. So at school, Buffy is now at the like law enforcement kiosk, whatever. I don't know. And the police woman there is calling roll of the students that I don't know, whatever, and then pulls a gun on her. It is so wild to see guns in this universe. Like it's so rare that we see them. And then
so far it's just been Darla.
Just been Darla and this police officer, which is part of the course.
Commentary.
In the melee, Oz protects Willow and dives in front of a goddamn bullet for her. Their relationship started with him diving in front of a bullet for her. It really enhances what we know to come from these two.
Yeah.
Which, spoilers,
and I'm very excited they finally get to have a scene together and interact with each other and talk and stuff. We see some chemistry because so far it's just been they keep bumping into each other, or he sees her from across the room and nothing. Now I've got a weird parallel story for this.
Okay.
Not nearly as cute or charming as this. But
did you dive in front of a bullet for some ex-girlfriend?
No, nothing nearly that cool.
Okay, good.
And I was gonna say, not nearly as charming as this, but maybe foretells a bad ending on par with that relationship. The night my mom and dad met, someone shot at my dad and blew a bullet hole in the bell bottom of his jeans.
And your mom said, "This is the guy for me."
That's the one. She grew up in the suburbs, and this hooligan was very exotic and very appealing to her. It was just the forbidden fruit of it all, I guess.
Listen, we all went through our bad boy phase.
You don't marry.
We don't marry our bad boy phase. Another gun is pulled by the cop.
She's got guns everywhere.
Guns everywhere, and
she's keistering guns.
Kendra ends up coming in and saving the day. The cop hostages Jonathan. I forgot. So, spoiler alert, this character becomes a much bigger character, but I forgot how often
He's just popping
he
in.
just pops in.
And he's in the credits as hostage kid.
It's so funny. Yeah, his name is Jonathan. You guys will all, for those of you that are watching for the first time along with us, sorry for the spoilers, and you'll meet Jonathan later. All right, so then she runs out. So this was Order of Taraka, police officer, whatever. All right, so now Buffy is telling Giles about this whole situation. And I just wrote, why is school still in session?
Right.
With what just happened, why is school still in session?
They found spiders in a textbook last season and canceled the rest of the day. There was an active shooter.
A police, and the active shooter was a police officer. This is grounds for closing school for a minute.
Everybody get to class.
Yeah, and
Clear the hall.
And one of our students was shot. Like has a bullet wound. Sunnydale is off the rails. Zordy then comes into the library and just the explanation of like, oh yeah, she's also a Slayer, which is so funny. And Kendra has a real weird reaction to Xander that I feel yucky about, and
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on why it makes me feel yucky.
I'm going to get into a lot of Kendra stuff in the Trivia Crypt. Again, advertisement for our Patreon. $5 a month. We do Trivia Crypt, which is a mini-sode, behind the scenes stuff, fun facts, stuff we look up about the episodes. We also do a watch along of every episode, which we've referenced. We watch it in real time, do a reaction video before we record these. Also, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you're listening on a podcast app, 5-star review, and rating and all that.
Yeah.
Back to it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with Kendra here. I guess the part of this that bugs me is that it doesn't go anywhere. They want to present her as exotic. They want to present her as from a different culture with a different sense of well, I just thought about this. There is the stereotype of Jamaican people that they work too much. They have too many jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
I
even know
wonder,
that was
is
a
that why they
stereotype.
chose to make her Jamaican? Because she puts job first? Like she puts job in front of her? Like I don't think it's necessarily supposed to be a negative stereotype, but it's supposed
It
to
just is a
portray
stereotype.
people as industrious.
Mm-hmm.
But in the hands of some mediocre white people writing these episodes,
It comes
it
out
just-
sideways. Yeah.
it comes out like kind of condescending. But yeah, she's real weird around Xander because in her culture, she's not allowed to talk to boys, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're just adding this, hey, look at the weird person who's different than us.
Right.
If it paid off in some way,
Mm-hmm.
I could see introducing it. I would have skipped this entire beat.
Agreed. Yeah. This is also where Zordy tells them about the Bugman. And they have also learned like what the ritual is that is going to restore a sick vampire back to health, that they have to kill the sire of that vampire on the night of the new moon.
Yeah.
Buffy tells them that Drusilla's sire is Angel. Kendra is still trying to get on board with this, like, we need to save Angel situation because he is Angelus and a vampire. And this is the first time that Xander is really trying to get over his jealousy of Angel. Like, and he does so actually in the next episode, which we obviously haven't watched together yet, but he's trying. And he says,
Angel's our friend. Except I don't like him.
which is the best he can do right
Yeah,
now. And great job.
I think of it as like they are sort of brothers, but they're not close in age.
Yeah.
So they're not super close. And I can bicker with him. I can call him out. I can make fun of him. You can't.
You can't. Yeah.
That's
I love
how
that.
I kind of read that.
Buffy and Kendra are not currently at cross purposes because in order to stop the ritual from happening, they have to get Angel out of the clutches of Spikezilla's lair. So Buffy is able to be like, listen, we can work together because we're actually not antagonists of each other in terms of purpose right now.
But what happens once they stop the ritual?
I think she's just
where
kind of,
there's going to be
yeah, I
friction.
think she's just kind of like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Nobody messes with my boyfriend.
That was a really great moment and a great line, a perfect Buffy moment.
Perfect Buffy moment. Yeah.
I don't like a lot about this episode. but I will call it out when it's good. That was a perfect Buffy moment.
Agreed. Yeah. So now I actually wrote down this entire little mini monologue from Drusilla because this bitch is nuts and I love it. Drusilla is having a blast with Angel in captivity and she is waxing poetic. My mummy ate lemons raw. She said she loved the way they made her mouth tingle. Her favorite was custard and brandied pears and pomegranates. They used to make her face and fingers all red. Remember little fingers, little hands? Do you? And the Angel is just like holy water being poured on him, sizzling. And he's like, Drew. And she says, bite your tongue. They used to eat cake and eggs and honey until you came and ripped their throats out. Which I love this actress.
Mm-hmm.
She's been so
meek
up
and
to this
small
point,
and mousy.
and to see like her anger and her ire start to come to the surface. Honestly, I don't even know that they need to kill Angel or do this ritual because she really seems to be getting
healthy,
up to speed.
Yeah.
Just
keep
by
him around and torture him.
Yeah, truly. I think she's doing
So
great.
here's my question though. And we know
Yeah.
from later episodes, in flashbacks, we see that the three of them and Darla cavort around together. Did she not have these issues with him previous to this?
No, I get the sense
like this is all from, the story of him killing her family while he was torturing her before he turned her.
Because it wouldn't have been possible to torture him with this imagery when he didn't have a soul. This is part of the torture now because he feels guilt.
There it is. Good stuff. I was missing that piece. See, sometimes I said at the very beginning, everything I said on in this is wrong. I think that was hyperbole, but in this case, I was missing a key piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out where this ritual is going to happen. Giles says there are 43 churches in Sunnydale. I'm like, I just don't think Sunnydale is big enough to house 43 churches.
Well, think about our neighborhood in Glendale, how many fucking churches there are.
Yeah, but there's not 43. And Sunnydale's got to be the size of Glendale, if not smaller.
Well, we've seen the population, I thought.
Okay, let's do a trivia crypt about this and about how many churches are in Glendale and if this makes any sense.
Per capita.
Yeah.
Like how many per 100,000 people, how many churches?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. It's a Hellmouth. So
you're right. No, I'm talking about real estate alone, not whether or not we could use 43 churches.
Right.
Sure. I'm talking about, I do not think that there are enough available plots of land.
Okay.
So Bendra is in Giles's office and they're kind of having like a Slayer to Slayer, learning about each other, bonding moment.
Another really great Buffy scene.
Yes, agreed. We really get an understanding of how Buffy views herself, that she isn't as detached as she wants people to think she is, that she just wants to go shopping. No, she does put some thought into what makes her the Slayer. And one of them is that Kendra has been taught to be emotionless, as well as not have a community and just be alone and to herself. Buffy actually like riles her up, like pokes at her, gets Kendra angry. And then right as Kendra's about to sort of make it physical, Buffy goes, that right there is your anger. And she talks about how that's useful in what she does, which I fully agree.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd be a Slayer without anger.
Yeah. It gives you fire, right? Like,
yeah.
And this is where we kind of get the book smarts versus street smarts. Like she's got this instinct. She's got this idea of what her job is from doing the job.
Yeah.
And it beats whatever Kendra's read in a handbook.
Yeah. Xander comes in and Kendra, collapses into herself, which is what gives Buffy the idea that the only time Kendra seems to interact with boys is when she's pummeling them. And it gives her the idea, let's go pummel Willie for more information.
Had she only said it that way.
You think he might help us? I think we might make him.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. Yeah, that's rough. Back at the lair, Drusilla has a funny line where she is telling Angel to say uncle. And she says, "That's right, you killed my uncle," which I just think is so funny. Angel then starts antagonizing Spike and emasculating him in a way that I was just like, Angelus is not far from the surface. Like, this was mean.
Diabolical.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of cuckoldry going on in this scene because when they first bring Angel in, they plop him on the floor at the foot of the bed while they make out.
Right.
And now,
and they fully boned. Like, they just panned
away.
Angel watched an
Them.
entire coitus session. Like, for sure.
And then Angel is reminding Spike that he got there first and she likes him better.
Yeah. And what we learn is that Angel is trying to get Spike to kill him prior to the ritual so that Drusilla can't be restored back to health. Drusilla catches on to what he's doing and she stops Spike and is now the one who reminds Spike, you can't kill him till the ritual. Right. So cut to Bendra questioning Willie. He cracks immediately and he has to take them to where the ritual is happening. Kendra wants to go check in with Giles, so she peels off. Buffy doesn't have time for that. And Kendra points out, she's like, I think Angel clouds your judgment. And though I don't think that is what's happening right now, he does.
Yes.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And I think Buffy would do well to acknowledge that, because I think Angel would also want her to acknowledge that, like, you can't just make choices based on me.
Yeah. Not that means they have to stop seeing each other, but she has to factor it in.
Yeah. So as Buffy is being led to Angel, Willie immediately leads her into a trap. And they did do a great thing with Willie's lines, which I liked, the poetry of this. Mm-hmm. When he's going to take Buffy to where the ritual is happening, he says, "Don't say your friend Willie don't come through in a pinch." He then walks her into a trap and says to the vampires, "Don't say your friend Willie don't come through in a pinch."
I like this character a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's a breath of fresh air. It opens up. He's the conduit to a whole other world of demon underground.
Yes.
Other characters.
Yes.
This whole like ecosystem, this whole life that they have. So I think this was a great addition to the show.
Yeah. So Spike is in the chapel and they're getting the ritual ready, and Drew and Angel are tied together up at the altar, and Spike stabs a knife through both of their hands to initiate the ritual beginning.
Can I just say the blocking of this was ugly and haphazard?
Yeah.
It didn't
You can say that.
It didn't look very ritualistic.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look particularly cool. It looked like they did it in a hurry. It just, I would like, this is the fucking big payoff to a 2-episode story. This should be grand. I don't know if they should be on an altar, if they should be side by side with the knife through their hands or whatever, but they're sort of slumped together. It looks like a fucking like bachelorette party game where you get the stripper and you tie them together with a belt to a bathrobe and you have to like wiggle out of it. It just looked silly and clumsy to me.
Visit Eric's bachelorette party planning website where he plans bachelorette parties for people. Willie busts in with police officer order of Taraka, a couple other vampires, and then obviously Buffy. And Spike is like, "Yo, you just brought the Slayer to me?" And they're like, "I thought that's what you wanted." He's like, "Yeah, I kind of wanted her dead so that she wasn't gonna fuck up this whole thing."
Yeah, so ridiculous. Because was One-Eyed Willie trying to kidnap her, or was he going to kill her? Was Norman Pfister going to kidnap her, or was he going to kill her?
Yeah. Well, kill her because Patrice, who we learned that's the name of the cop,
she was trying to shoot her in the head.
Is trying to shoot her in the head.
So why wouldn't they just kill her?
Yeah.
Plot armor.
So Patrice, the police officer, is ordered to shoot her, but then Kendra comes flipping in to save the day.
She's also not in her police uniform anymore. She's in like some kind of like generic tactical gear.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't look especially good. But then somehow Wormy is just in his like door-to-door salesman clothes. He doesn't get a tactical outfit to wear.
No, it's all
nothing.
the worms.
It's all over the place.
It's all the worms know how to build. They can only build
They can only build a
trench coat and a briefcase.
suit.
Yeah. Giles and the Scoobies come in with a crossbow and they throw a few hands. We get my least favorite type of insult that this show does all the time.
Hey, lava boy.
Where it's just a description and then boy or girl at the end of
Right.
it. It's just so lazy. Zordy is trying to lure the Maggotman out through a door. Very problematic based on all of the science of the Maggotman that we've dealt with. But they've put liquid adhesive on the other side of the door so that when he comes through as a worm, they can stomp on him before he can reconstitute. Great vocab word.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And apparently, again, this guy can't open doorknobs.
Yeah.
So how's he supposed to kill a Slayer?
Lord.
Because the worms don't seem
yeah.
to be capable of doing anything.
Other than like, maybe they just like
around.
Gross her out so much she dies.
She just wills herself dead?
Yeah.
She just gives up?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. So now the Slayers are working together, which was fun to see. And my favorite move happens in here. Fighting. Buffy goes to untie Angel.
And does it in a really stupid way.
Yeah.
She does it with her back to the fray, her back to Spike, when literally 3 steps she could untie them, have just the same access, but keep her eyes on everything that's happening. It's a very not Buffy move.
Yeah.
Buffy's always very aware of her environment.
Yeah.
This was a ridiculous choice on Buffy's part.
Not as ridiculous as Kendra, whose shirt gets ripped, and she says,
That's me favorite shirt. That's me only shirt.
Once again, why does this character only have this shirt and these pants? Why would that be a thing?
Are they implying that she's poor?
I don't know what they're implying, because also, like, if you only...
Is it that she only has one shirt with her because she didn't check any baggage when she stowed away on the airplane? Maybe
but
that's
why?
what she means?
Like,
yeah,
why do you not want...
it at
why
all?
do you not want to change your clothes? Like, just because you're a Slayer doesn't mean that you don't wear different clothes. Also, if these are your only clothes, why did you choose these? Like a crop top from Wet Seal and no stretch pajama pants? That's what you've chosen as your only...
As your Slayer, I'm going to wear one outfit.
That's my Slayer out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Spike then sets something on fire and grabs Drusilla to like exit the place, but Buffy throws an incense mace at him and the whole organ of the church falls down and they're buried under rubble.
This is so dumb. Can I tell you why?
Yes.
Because Spike is just walking into the fucking organ. Had she not hit him, he would have just bumped into the fucking thing with Drusilla. Like, what is this?
Why is he walking into the organ?
Why not just have him walk past it?
Mm-hmm.
And then fall into it because he gets hit in the head. He's literally just walking.
Yeah. So Buffy is holding Angel, who's like kind of unconscious.
Spike does say when he pulls Drew away, hopefully that was enough. They didn't finish the ritual, but she got a little bit of juice out of Angel.
Yeah, got juiced up a little. Kendra then comes to help Buffy carry Angel out as like this moment when we see like, okay, Kendra is
reluctantly treating Angel as an ally.
Yeah. Okay. So big fight is over. Yay. Let's see what happens the next day. Oz, who's just been shot. Is he wearing anything?
He's got a sling.
He does? Okay. All right, cool. He's at the vending machine. Willow comes up to thank him for saving her life. And they have the sweetest exchange about animal crackers that I thought to myself, these two actors are some of the only actors I can think of off the top of my head that could pull this scene off.
They elevate what is ridiculous throwaway dialogue and make it one of the best moments in the episode.
This could be, and I'm not shitting on the writing. The writing of this was great. It's just very lesser actors would struggle to make this feel real.
It is one of the few moments in the series up to this point where we're dealing with subtext.
Yeah.
Where the words that are being said are not the main point of the conversation.
Yeah.
They are getting to know each other. They are finding common ground. They are vibing.
Yeah.
But the conversation isn't about that, although he does drop a quick compliment on her.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. So he's talking, another character waxing poetic, but this is about animal crackers. And he interrupts himself to say,
"You have the sweetest smile I've ever seen."
Back to animal crackers. And it was just mwah, chef's kiss. Like, these are the types of scenes that make this show what this show is.
And it just points out to me how aggravating it was that it took us this long for them to have a scene, because they've been teasing it for so long without any evidence of watching it first time through. You don't know it's going to be this good.
Yeah.
And so I got annoyed at all of the teasing.
Yeah.
So now that we have it, I'm like, fuck yes. Now we get to see this be a thing.
Yeah. So we get some more chemistry because Xander confronts Cordy about avoiding him. Like, he's like, it doesn't have to be weird just because we kissed or you kissed me, he says. Then they fight about who kissed who, which ends in them kissing again.
Right.
Which is great. So we're going to do this for a little while where they're both going to reluctantly
make out in secret.
Yeah.
And then pretend to hate each other around everybody else.
Yeah. So now Bendra is walking because Kendra is getting picked up by a cab, and
Buffy apparently got dressed in the dark.
Got dressed in the dark and gave Kendra a new shirt since hers was ripped, but no new pants.
While you're in there, why don't you pick out some pants?
Yeah. And, reminds her, like, kind of, she doesn't say these exact words, but is kind of like, you're worthy of not sitting in cargo. Like, you can sit in a seat, or that's how I took it. Like,
yeah. And it was also just like a stark reminder to me of how different the world was. Like, this chick doesn't have any ID. She shouldn't have a passport.
Right.
So you're just going to go get on a plane.
Pre
9/11, man. Things were wild.
Yeah. So Buffy thanks her for helping her save Angel. Kendra's like, yeah, I'm not telling my watcher about that. That's too weird.
Yeah.
And then she kind of gives Buffy some parting thoughts.
You talk about saying like it's a job. It's not. It's who you are.
Well, then Buffy says, did you get that out of your handbook? And Kendra's like, no.
I learned it by watching you.
Which is lovely.
One of the best moments in these last two episodes.
Yeah.
There are little kernels of really great stuff in here.
Yeah.
Surrounded by a lot of
which is
sloppy
why
plotting
which
and
is
mess.
why we're let me say this. This is why we bother to be so hard on this show when it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, because we have evidence that it can. So it is out of respect for the show that we don't, we're going to call it out.
Yeah,
like,
do
better. Yeah. We find Drusilla in Bumpy Face pretty restored, because she's the one who lifts Spike up out of the rubble, and she's the strong one now.
So we haven't really escaped the parasitic codependent relationship, but we have flipped who is who in that relationship.
So I don't know that we've gotten out of our stinky lair, but we've at least, we're changing roles. So sure.
Sunnydale High Yearbook Committee meeting now in session. Who did you have for best line?
Best line. Oh, and this is dedicated to my dad, because I remember that when he first watched this episode, I came into wherever he was sitting, watching it, probably in the paddock. And he was cry laughing. There was a line that Oz said that for whatever reason just hit his funny bone, and he loved it.
And the monkeys just, I mock you with my monkey pants.
Referring to the fact that in the animal crackers, it's only the monkey that has pants on. So that's dedicated to Dad, because again, that whole scene, a less skilled actor, that would have been annoying, ridiculous, eye roll. Yeah.
This one's going to be weird, but this tickled me.
Okay.
So when Willie gives Angel to Spike in the sewer, he's like, what are you going to do with him? And Spike says,
I'm thinking maybe dinner and a movie. I don't want to rush into anything. I've been hurt,
That is funny. Yeah.
What'd you have for worst line?
Worst line was in the very beginning of the episode where Buffy tells Kendra not to get wiggy. Kendra doesn't know what wiggy means, and Buffy describes it as,
no Kiko, no Fido.
It's just like,
this is right up there with punchy fruit drinky.
Yeah, stop being racist.
I
don't know.
I had that one as well, along with a tie. Buffy mimicking Kendra's accent.
Yeah, not great. And again, join our Patreon to see our Trivia Crypt, which looks like it's just going to be totally about how they did this actress wrong.
Who'd you have for best dressed?
Best dressed, Drusilla's sacrifice dress, and then the black Nadja from What We Do in the Shadows vibe she's bringing, I was here for.
I got Angel shirt open, nipple exposed.
Yeah.
With a gag in his mouth.
Hey.
I'm going for it. I said what I said. How'd you have for worst dressed?
Worst dressed, Buffy's last outfit.
Tie.
Because all of the elements individually, I don't really have a problem with, but she appears to have just grabbed clothes off the floor of her bedroom in the dark.
Yeah. I wrote it down as Buffy's pimp jacket, pink shirt, green pants.
Yeah.
What'd you have for best move?
Best move was in the final fight where the two Slayers do a switchy switch, and switch who they're fighting. It was
That was fun. I like that. Same scene.
Mm-hmm.
I have what I believe was Willow's first staking.
Really?
Giles is holding a vampire in kind of a full Nelson, and Willow says, "Hold him still." And then she stakes him. Camera moves off of them just for a second. When we come back, Willow is dusting the dust off of Giles's chest. So I'm not saying there's never ashes. I'm just saying you can't say there's always ashes. That was my point.
Okay.
But yeah, that was, I sound off in the comments if I'm wrong. I think that's Willow's first staking that we've seen on the show. And what did you have for most likely?
Most likely to be a fantastic Slayer if the only criteria is using your emotions, me.
That's your superpower.
Yeah.
I had most likely to be sued for false advertising as an assassin society that, quote, never stops coming until their target is dead, the Order of Taraka.
Agreed.
Because at the end of this episode, after Buffy defeats 4-ish of them, they completely stop coming.
Spoiler alert. No more Order of Taraka.
That's it. That's a wrap on the Order of Taraka.
Yeah.
All right. That was our episode. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to be back next Monday for whatever episode 11 is. I don't even know the name of it. You've already got an idea. I have no memory of this season at all. I notice I do this a lot. I'm doing my Kegels right here on camera for everybody. But please please subscribe, leave a comment, 5-star rating and review on podcast apps. Check out our Patreon. And while you're at it, be sure to check out our other show, Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe co-starring her and the hilarious Kim Burns, produced by me on social media at KKSam Podcast, out every Wednesday, wherever you listen to podcasts. And the show's on social media at Major Slayage Pod. All right, that's all we have for you. Thanks for your time. We love you guys. And until next time,
dust you later.